When a millionaire nearly runs out of money, he doesn't give up. He doesn't just sit back and watch his empire crumble. For me, that means picking up the tools again. You can take away the wealth, but you can never take away the drive to revive. Hello everybody and welcome back to my garage revivals. Right, so yeah, I was a little bit busy this morning. As you can see, I have put the stickers on the Ram truck today. So yeah, I actually decided against the whole idea of two-toning this vehicle, and as well as our other pickup truck over there. So I think this actually looks quite good, and it doesn't have to be, painted in the two-tone for it to look neat. So I figured this was alright, because our previous shop truck only also had a, just a white paint job, if you can recall from season 1. So I think that actually turned out quite well. But yes, we've got a little bit of other work we need to carry on with today. So as you may know, we've got one customer vehicle still, after Cyclone's truck has been completed. So what I have done to Seth's 1971 Satellite over here is I've sort of prepped this thing ready for its paint job today. Well, actually yesterday already. So what I'm going to do today is I want to see if these wheels and tires are going to fit this car in order to take it over to the paint booth. Because I sort of got rid of the other ones that were keep getting flat, because I figured, well, we still have the old wheels off of the customer's Ford Focus. So yeah, speaking of Ford Focus, I actually tracked down a guy who is selling one, but the car has been in a slight accident in the front. So it's been in a little bit of a front end collision. So we're going to see how that is going to pan out for us. He might give us a call a bit later on today, see if we can go and have a look at the car. And obviously if we are happy with it, we will bring it home with us and try and fix it up a bit and see if we can make a little bit of money off of it. Alright, so obviously you can see I also removed the trunk and the fender that was rusty on the car. So that is over in the paint booth, and we just need to get those parts mounted as well. Alright, yeah, these wheels are a little bit big, but I think just for moving into the paint booth it should be fine. We just have to be careful of not steering the wheels too sharply. But yeah, I think we are going to be changing the wheels on this car for Seth as well, to something a little bit more period correct, if you know what I mean. Because the ones that he's currently got on here, these 5 spokes, are more for like a 80s car, if you know what I mean. Sort of just my opinion. So we are going to be changing the wheels for him to a little bit more classic wheels. Right, but yes, I think that should do the trick. And now we can get this thing lowered back down. Alright, just like that. Looks a little bit better. So yeah, I actually wanted to still remove a bunch of things off the car. So obviously the exhausts are still off, because otherwise this thing would have been a little bit hard to pull up onto our little scissor lift over here. Right, so let's get it fired up again. So just bear with me, it's going to be a little bit loud. So yeah, we don't have mufflers installed at the moment, so it's okay. We're not going to go too high with the revolutions. Right, let's just stop it over here. Okay, so things that I actually did off camera as well is I did replace this quarter panel, because the quarter panel we had on here had some very weird lines, and I see the lines are still here over on the roof a bit. So we'll see how that does in a paint booth. If that doesn't work out, we would probably just have to sand it down or sandblast this part and just try and fix that up for him off camera afterwards. So yeah, right now what I want to do is we're going to strip out the rest of the interior from this car. Obviously we'll also just install a temporary seat that we've got for the driver's side. Right, so we actually already have got the new front seats for this car, because he wanted us to replace these. So those are the new ones that's going to be going in the car. And obviously I took the old interior panels off of the old quarter panels, because that's where they're attached to. Right, so let's get these front door cards off as well. I actually put a table here, or I actually got this table for some parts that we take off the cars, because I always end up leaving the stuff on the floor which is not really ideal. But I guess we will use the table now that we've got it. Alright, so there's a bunch of parts we need to take off with the pry tool, and some of them are going to require the screwdriver. Alright, let's just get this driver's seat out of here first of all. Yeah, and I might actually get a couple of bucks for these seats if we take them over to the pawn shop. I think the guy over there should be able to take them off our hands. Alright, so let's grab the temporary seat over here. Just gonna pop this in. And yeah, these bolts are gonna probably be a little bit wonky down here, but that's okay. We'll just bolt it up like that. Alright, I wonder if I can take out the dashboard. Will that still leave the car at least in running condition? Let's have a look here. Right, so we've got a screw over there and one over there. There we go. Right, I think the ignition is actually on the steering column. Right, let's put this down over there. So I think this should still work. Yeah. Alright, shifter. I don't think we've got to worry about the shifter. We're not going to be painting there. Alright, but let's see what else we can pop off this thing. I think everything we can still take off. Oh, wait, let's take this rear panel off over here. Alright, so there's that. Alright, we'll just put it down on the table on top of the door panels there for now. And then I think now we can grab the pry tool and see what else wants to come off this thing. Alright, so we'll pop out this headliner. Okay, let's just put this way out of the way over there. Just like that. And then I think there's still a bunch of trim we need to take off from the sides over here. Alright, we can actually just pop it on this workbench for now. And we're going to take out the front windscreen as well. We can even take off the door handles here. I actually forgot about this door panel on this side. I should actually just remove that as well. Alright, so where are the bolts? Over there. Okay, and we'll just pop this down over here. Alright, and let's grab this one as well. Okay, so there is that. Alright, so there's the pry tool. Let's not forget, let's just put it back in the toolbox for now. Alright, and what else do I need to unbolt from this thing? Probably the front bumper. Now that we've got the wrench, let's just carry on and do this. So I am going to be getting some brand new headlights for this car, because I think these ones are a little bit old and crusty, so we're going to probably replace all 4 of them. I think it's just going to be better. Let's just mind the glass over here. Try and not get that damaged. Okay, and the rest of the stuff I think should just pop off with the pry tool. Right, windscreen. Let's see if we can put the windscreen over here. Oh, that nearly dropped down to the ground, but it's okay. Right, let's pop this window off. Alright, so I already ordered a brand new rear window for this car, because the one we got off the donor vehicle was a little bit messed up. So we are going to be replacing that. Right, let's get this door panel, or this door handle over there. Right, there's a piece of trim that can be popped off over here. Alright. We'll just set it down on the table. Right, some wheel arch trims. And we're kind of running out of space to put stuff, so I'm just going to start stacking them on top of each other here, I guess. Right, and let's not forget this little emblem. Right, that is a small piece of emblem. Alright, so there's nothing over on this side. This fender is already removed. So we are going to pop out these blinkers, or turn signals as they call it. Let's just pop it down over there. Alright, and this one over there. And I think this little grill insert can also come out. You just have to rip it out from behind the license plate. Alright, let's just put this over there. And obviously I need to take off that license plate, so let's quickly grab the screwdriver. Oh, come on, go in your place. Alright, so just the 2 screws on this. Right, and I think we are basically good to take this thing over to the paint booth. So I decided not to prime the whole car because the paintwork on the body panels that we put on this thing aren't too bad, with the exception of the obviously the trunk and the fender that we had to fix up, and this rear panel was also quite rusty behind the bumper. So that is sorted out already. And yeah, everything sort of looks fairly good. I think we are actually good to put this thing together now. We've got the hood and the fender that I want to bolt onto this thing. So let's pop the hood open. Gotta quickly take a walk over to the paint booth. Alright, so it's still closed. We'll just grab the trunk and we'll grab the fender and just go and pop it onto the car. Alright, so here we are. We've got the trunk that we're gonna mount to the car now. Alright, so this has been primed already yesterday, so I think it's all nice and dry and ready to rock and roll. And obviously the driver side fender here, which I did do the de-rusting off. So that is looking a little bit better. Alright, let's just quickly zip this down. And I think once we did this, I should probably quickly just pop the battery out. Should have actually undid this one first. And then the positive. Okay, because I want to quickly see if I can weld that panel back into place underneath. Let's just grab the welding machine here. Right, so in order to take the fenders off this car, you have to cut this weld over here. So we're just going to weld that back up. Right, so that is sorted out. Yeah, we'll just leave the welding machine over there. Let's just get our battery put back into the car. Alright, and bolt it down just like that. And now I think we are good to move this thing, but yeah, we could probably just pop these exhausts on quickly, because otherwise I might actually forget about these. So let's just do it while I am still fresh on thinking about it. Alright, and let's do the other one. Alright, and let's just get under here. Would have been easier if this thing was up on the lift still, but I guess we gotta do what we gotta do. Alright, so let's get this thing fired up once again. We're gonna move it over to the paint booth and just see if we can finally get this thing sprayed up in its brand new color that Seth chose for it. Right, so there we go. Yeah, that sounds a bit better with the exhausts installed. Right, no traffic coming. Alright, so there we are in the paint booth, and we've got the paint there over on the little shelf. Let's just turn this thing off. Alright, and let's get the lights on so we can actually see what we are doing. Alright, so we just need to get the paint into the spray paint compressor here. I still got the primer in here, so that is good. We can just pop that out. We'll pop this one in. There we go. Let's get the lid on. And yeah, I think it's time for us to cue some music and then get this thing painted up in this beautiful green that Seth chose for the car. Alright, so that is job done. So this car has been painted completely, and I don't think we missed any spots. Yeah, that's definitely quite a bit of an improvement. And I'm actually quite satisfied how this quarter panel turned out, the join here by the roof. Although it's not perfect, I mean, it'll probably never be perfect again. But it's definitely good enough for what we had to work with. So yeah, I think it's definitely as good as it's going to get. So now that we've got the car painted up and we don't really have a whole lot to do, I figured I'm going to go and keep myself busy with a little bit of projects of my own. In other words, trying to rebuild some engines, because we've got quite a bit of engine parts in our engine shop over there. So I'm just going to close up this door. We're going to leave the car over here to cure at overnight, obviously, so that we can get it moved back into the body shop for its final assembly work, and then this car will be ready to get sent back to Seth. Alrighty guys, so we just gonna close up the body shop for now. I don't think we really need to come back into the office again. I was just busy cleaning up a couple of things. So yeah, let's also close the office door because it's a little bit windy today, and just want to try and keep the dust out of there as well. So yeah, we're gonna move over to the engine shop over there. I already opened it this morning, so just sort of checking what we've got to work with. And I've devised that we actually have got quite a bit of stuff we can do over here. We still have got an engine in the crate here that we got off Charles, a second-hand engine. So I just wanted to start digging into these two engines up on the stand to see if we can at least build one proper engine out of the two. Alright, so I'll just quickly remove the two exhaust pipes from that engine. And I think we are ready to start more or less tackling these engines. So let's turn them to their sides. Alright, just like this. Okay, so let's start with this one. Alright, so I'm going to try and see. We've got some parts laying around under here as well. We're going to see what is going to be the best out of everything. Obviously, some parts might be brand new. Some parts might be old. Some parts are absolutely completely shot, like this engine doesn't have a good alternator. So I just figured we're going to keep ourselves busy and just see what we've got to work with here. Alright, so let's take off the air filter from this one. You can clearly see that is quite badly worn. Oh, there goes the air filter. Alright, so yeah, I'm also obviously going to get rid of all of the old janky parts and stuff we can't really use. Even stuff like this that is a little bit worn, but it's not really perfect anymore. So we're going to see what we can reuse. So I just noticed we don't have a proper intake manifold. So yeah, we're definitely going to have to buy some parts, maybe for some of these engines, like an oil pan as well. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what I've got to work with here. Alright, looks like we've got a good looking carburetor. Alright, that one doesn't look too bad. How does this one look? Alright, let's just undo that. Let's put it down over here. Alright, so this one is on its last legs. So it looks like this engine is actually in much better nick than this one. But yeah, as I said, some parts on this one might actually be better. Let's have a look at these plug leads. Okay, so those ones are still good, but we do have got some performance ones under here that are actually also still in good condition. So we might end up using all of those more performance parts if we can. Alright, so yeah, obviously that's a bit junk, so we're gonna try and keep the junk parts one side. I should actually start putting them on the ground. Alright, let's grab the wrench and let's see what else we've got. Thermostat housings. Yeah, that one actually looks brand new. Alright, and this one also looks fairly decent still, so I might keep some parts around still. Alright, and this distributor on this side looks fairly decent on this engine. Alright, let's see. Yeah, that is actually still good, so we could probably eventually get a proper engine built, with the exception of a couple of parts we are going to need. Alright, so that is junk. Alright, let's do this. Ignition coil, you can see that is a bit rusty, so that is probably basically junk. Right, this one still looks good. Yeah, that actually still looks fairly decent, so we're gonna just put everything together that we think is gonna work out. Alright, let's get these alternator belts off of here. Alright, let's see. This one is still good. We've got another one over here, which is a little bit better. And we've got a starter laying over there as well, I noticed. Alright, let's take off this belt. This belt is almost brand new, so this will be the one we're going to use on this engine that we are potentially going to build here. Alright, and grab the wrench. Let's have a look at this ventilator. Yeah, that is trash. Alright, although it still seems to be good. Yeah, sometimes, as I said, with these parts, looks can be deceiving. This one is the better one of the rest that we've got. I actually saw there's some pistons down there as well. Basically the engine housing, timing housing, timing chain cover, harmonic balancer. So yeah, we've got some pretty good parts laying around actually. Alright, let's take off the alternator here. Alright, let's just inspect this quickly. Yeah, it's not too bad. It should still work for a while, but yeah, I think this one is a little bit more worn than that one. I don't think we've got an extra alternator laying about, so I might have to utilize this one. Well, it shouldn't be too bad. Alright, let's take off this valve cover on this side. Alright, so that is obviously shot, but the one on this engine looks good, so that is one we can actually reuse. As for the other valve cover on the other engine looks good, so yeah, it might be something we could reuse as well. The cylinder head on this looks good on this side, so that is a good sign. Alright, that cover actually still looks new. Right, let's undo this one. Alright, and yeah, that one isn't the best, but it's the best one we've got, so guess we could reuse it. Right, so this one is obviously rusty, but I do want to take it off anyway to have a look at the rockers under here. Alright, so there we go. Alright, and that is also trash. Alright, let's take off the rockers. There's the last bolt. Okay, I was checking to see why this thing isn't coming off. Alright, so there it goes. Oh, that's some decent looking rockers. Let's have a look at these ones. Okay, this one. Yeah, not the best, so I'm hoping we've got some better ones on this engine then. Alright, what's this one like? It's almost brand new, so that is good. Alright, so this one, let's check this set of rockers. Oh, that is also almost brand new. So it looks like this engine was actually taken care of at some point, definitely been maintained. Right, so this intake manifold is completely shot, and yeah, so is the other one on the other engine. Right, where did we miss? Right, is that all of the bolts? Come on. Oh, there's one over there. Alright, so this intake, as I said, is shot. Yeah, we're gonna have to source an intake manifold for at least one of the engines, so yeah, this one is probably also similar. Alright, let's just undo it anyway, because I don't know which one of these cylinder heads are going to be the better one of the two. Well, obviously the cylinder heads, these two are going to be the better ones, but the engine blocks is what I meant to say, because I think they are Yeah, this one is definitely shot, but we still have got this one, which is still fairly new, if I'm not mistaken. And then this one is also not too bad. So yeah, I think we will definitely get something built eventually. Alright, let's tilt it over a bit. Alright, I think let's take off all of these headers first so we can see what we got to work with here. Alright, that one is not too bad. Alright, let's check this one. Oh, come on, where's that bolt? Okay. Yeah, this one is similar to that one. So this for the right, that is for the right as well. So this one is a little bit better. We could probably use that one. Okay, let's hunker down. We're going to do the headers on these lower parts as well of the engine. Alright, well, not really the lower part of the engine, but the parts that are currently the lowest. Right, so that is not too bad. Let's have a look at this one on this side. Okay, and just like that, got all the manifolds off, exhaust manifolds. That one actually still looks brand new. Right, so this one is maybe worth keeping around. This one we're going to trash it because it's on its last legs. And this one is the slightly better one between the two, so we could use that one. Right, let's quickly just put the wrench back. Take off this oil filter. That is also still kind of new. And this one, also not bad, but that one over there is a little bit better. So this might be worth keeping this one around for now. Okay, let's grab the wrench again. Alright, so I think we are going to check each and every part. So that pulley is not bad. Let's see if we've got a better one on this side. I think we do have got a decent one on the shelf over there. Right, this one isn't too bad. Might be able to reuse that one. Right, and the harmonic balancer. Okay, that one is, it's on its last legs basically. Let's have a look at this one. Alright, so that one is fairly good. Let's just put it down there. How's this one doing? This one is a slightly more worn. Right, so let's have a look at this pulley that I left on here. It's actually not too bad either. So these two are basically the same. Okay. So I think no use in struggling around with this or messing around with that. So that is good. All right, let's continue. We've got water pump. And now it wants to start raining. That is very interesting. Okay, well, fuel pump. Let's see what we've got to work with here. This one is still fairly new. How's this one doing over here? Oh, come on. Yeah, that is obviously rusty. So we've got quite a big pile of junk already. Right, this is the water pump. Alright. Come on, let's get to that last bolt over there. Right, so that water pump is shot completely. Do we have another one? No, we don't have another water pump. So that's one thing we also need to get. So I'm sort of making a mental note on parts we need for one engine at least, to get it up and running in a decent condition. So water pump is definitely something we're going to need to get for one of these. Right, so let's take off the cylinder head here finally, which is shot. Spark plugs, these all seem to be fairly decent, so I'll maybe check those. Right, and head gasket is shot on this one. Right, let's go under here. And just unbolt the cylinder head here. Alright, what is this? completely shot, but the spark plugs seem to be good. Spark plugs may have been replaced. So we'll just check the spark plugs on that engine. And once again, head gasket is shot. So that is something we're going to have to replace. Right, these cylinder heads, both on this engine, seem to be in decent condition. But yeah, as they say, the proof is in the pudding, so let's see. Yeah, it's not too bad. There are some good spark plugs in here as well, so we'll definitely have to strip the other ones out of the cylinder heads and see which ones are good. Although spark plugs are very inexpensive actually, so it might be worth just getting some brand new spark plugs as well as head gaskets, because I don't want to end up reusing a head gasket that is already halfway worn. So it doesn't make sense to reuse a head gasket if you can just buy a new one. Alright, and there's the other cylinder head, also not the greatest. This head gasket is also still kind of okay, but it's better to replace them. Spark plugs as well. There's one bad spark plug in here. Let's just put it over there. Alright, well, I think we can continue stripping the timing chains covers off, because I know we've got a decent one laying over there. Alright, and there it goes. Sometimes these things are a little bit stuck to the engine, so you have to sort of give it a little bit of a time to just come loose. Right, that bolt we already loosened up. Okay, come on. There we go. Right, this one actually still looks fairly new, so that is a good sign. Let's just see down here. That one is also still fairly new, so yeah, looks like we are good with timing covers. Alright, so now we're probably going to need a pry tool for the next part of this to get the crankshaft sprocket off here. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Alright, so let's put it over on this side. And let's grab the pry tool for this one. Oh, would you look at that? That is our cell phone ringing. So this might actually be the owner of the Ford Focus phoning us now. Alright, well, just about time. Alright, so we had a bit of a chat with the owner of the Ford Focus. His name is Brian. So he lives over at the beach. He actually only recently moved over here. He previously had a delivery service which he was using the Ford Focus for. We're just gonna try and hop into our pickup truck here. Alright, so we are going to be taking the trailer, because apparently the car is sitting a little bit low on the one side. So I'm not too sure exactly what happened with it. So it's going to be easier for us to load it up onto the trailer than to load it up onto the Ram truck for that reason. Alright, so let's just get ourselves in position for the trailer here. Alright, and yeah, the rain is also not going to make this easier for us, trying to load up a car on a trailer. Alright, and let's just bring this closer. Yes, why is this thing up? Okay, let's just take the handbrake off. Might actually be easier to pull it. Alright, so we are all hooked up and everything is still closed, so we are good to set off. So let's just jump in here and we're just gonna be on our way. Alrighty, so we are just coming up to Brian's house. Apparently it's the big one in the middle that's got a garage that's open. Alright, so I think this is the place. Oh, would you look at that? That's a pretty nifty looking car he's got in the garage over there. Alright, well, I suppose we can turn off our lights and also the wipers. Come on. Yeah, these wipers are sometimes a little bit sticky. Yeah, that's a bit broken. Alright, I'll have to have a look at that. But okay, let's go and knock on the door and see if we can have a look at this Ford Focus. Alright guys, so yeah, luckily the weather has decided to take a little bit of a turn and it stopped raining. Still a little bit cloudy, but I guess that is fine. So yeah, this Ford Focus is actually parked around the back of his house, so we're just gonna try and make our way over there. It looks like my wiper's actually packed up, so I'm gonna have to try and fix this once we get back. So yeah, as I said, luckily for us it stopped raining. Alright, so we're gonna just quickly make a U-turn around here. So I think this is the only way we can actually get back here. Alright, and there I see it. Yeah, it actually looks a little bit worse than I thought. Alright, well, he's only asking 5 grand for this thing, so I guess it might be a good deal. But let's just have a closer look at it. Alright, let's hop out here. And yeah, let's have a little bit of a gander over here. Alright, my goodness. Yeah, this thing... Yeah, you can see it's been used. Yeah, it's quite bad actually, the front end damage. This whole cradle is pushed in at the front. A radiator's pushed back. Everything is kind of just far back. I mean, I think it's supposed to go somewhere to here, where we are standing now. This is where the front end's supposed to be. This thing has been smashed quite hard actually. But he tells me it still runs and drives. Obviously, we just have to be careful and not let it run too long. Alright, well, let's see if it actually fires up. Oh, you've got power. Where's the... There it is. It actually fires up easily. At little inline 4. 1.8 liter. Right, I wanted to check the oil before we let it run too long. It's a little bit low, but it still seems to be fine. We've got a massive exhaust leak. Suspension on this side has collapsed. I don't know if that was because of the accident. Yeah, these front wheels are pushed back quite far, so there might be some subframe damage as well. But I think all in all it's already starting to overheat, so let's just turn it off. Alright. Well, all in all, I think it's a good deal for 5 grand, because I mean these cars go usually for a lot more than that if they are in good condition. So I think we are going to go and make the deal, and then we'll see if we can get it loaded up onto our trailer over there. Alright, so yes, we actually did negotiate a little bit on the price. So he ended up giving me this car for only 4,500. I think it's not a bad deal then. So we are definitely going to have to do quite a bit of work to this thing. It's missing a headliner. The back seat is missing because obviously he used it as a delivery van, which is not really ideal for such a small car. But I suppose it's what it was. Alright, so now that this thing is cooled down a tiny bit, let's try and see if we can get it. Okay, well, there comes the smoke already. So yeah, this thing is it's going to overheat if we don't manage this as soon as possible. That's probably what happened with the engine block. Maybe they drove it after the accident a bit. Alright, how did we do? I think we are on. Right, let's just hop out. Yeah, it sort of wants to start sliding, so let's just lower this down. Alright, I think we could probably go forward a tiny bit, but I think that's more or less center. Right, let's just see if we can at least move it a bit forward. Alright, that should be good. Alright, let's get it turned off before this thing really overheats. Alright. Alright, so let's hop into the truck and we are going to see if we can get back to the shop with this thing. Alright, yeah, I need to see if I can make a plan with the windshield wipers. I don't know, it's like I never use these things, but once you do, it actually seems like they tend to break. Alright, so I think we should be able to get past this building over there. Yeah, let's not take any risks. We'll just turn. Yeah, I don't want to go all the way down and then we can't get through. Although I think, yeah, TC shop should have enough space at the back there for us to go around as well. Gotta watch our trailer. Alright, well, let's see if we can get back to the shop. Alright, so we are back at the shop, and I noticed that our shop truck over here is starting to develop a little exhaust leak. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with this now. So I might have to properly have a look at that. But yeah, I think it might have just been this header over here that's starting to pack up. So luckily we do have got some spare headers laying around as well, so I might have to swap that out. Alright, but first things first, let's see if we can get this car off the trailer once again. Alright, let's see if we can just get the door open. Come on. Alright, we'll undo the handbrake. And let's just catch it before this thing rolls to the road. Alright, I've got it. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so our Ford Focus is back at the shop. It's definitely gonna need a little bit of work in order for us to be able to drive this thing. But yeah, I think let's try and get this into the body shop. And there goes the steam again. My goodness, this thing actually warms up quick. Right, let's hop out, get this door open. Alright, let's just pull it inside. I think this is good for now. I will probably decide where I want to go with this car eventually. But I think we will probably start with trying to figure out the overheating issue that we have with the broken radiator. Maybe take off all of the damaged body panels here while we're in the body shop, and then I'll see maybe afterwards we're going to tackle the suspension. It is missing two hubcaps at the back that I've noticed, or well, yeah, it's missing a wheel hubcap on this side and that side. So I think we still have got the old Ford hubcaps that came off of the customer's Ford Focus we did for him. So we might turn this thing to stock, but I also know there's a bunch of aftermarket parts available for these, so we might do a little bit of tuning while we are at it. So I'm thinking we'll see what we do with this thing. At the moment, I just think this was quite a nice little bargain for us. So yeah, I think that was quite a good purchase, and at least it is a running and driving vehicle at this point. So yeah, I think that is also basically going to be it for this episode, guys. There's not a whole lot really happening just yet. So yeah, we'll see what happens in the next episode. Not entirely sure if we're gonna get a next customer vehicle in again, because things seem to be a little bit quiet, being the new year. So I think once people are, have got themselves settled back into work and they start realizing that the year has begun, they might get their first paycheck and just, bring in some more business for us. So yeah, definitely things are going to be a little bit quiet in January, but I guess that is how it goes everywhere. But yes, I will see you all in the next one.